Uncanny X-Men 465. This is the last tie-in in the Uncanny series to kind of wrap up their thing. And I enjoyed it for what it is, but the ending kind of feels lackluster, heartbreaking as it was, because I don't know. It's been so long since I've read House of M that I don't know if what happens in this particular issue has any major repercussions in the main title. If you guys know, let me know down in the comments. But with that said, let's dive into Season of the Witch 404. If you guys want to kind of know what's been going on, feel free to pause that at your convenience and check it out. The print date on this was December 2005. Yeah, 20 years ago. Ad. At this point, Brian, I believe, knows that everything in the universe is not right. Because initially, before Wanda really screwed with reality, he was with Roma and Santorin, I believe is how you pronounce her name, and he said, you got to close this gap, or else I'm going to have to destroy your reality. So he knows that there's more at stake, but he still has the memories of this new universe. There are things going on that brings to the attention of Magneto, who brings his Omega Sentinel in to say you are arrested for crimes against the Lord Magneto. And he goes, I told you, woman, the fate of all creation is at stake. We don't have time for this. And he just smashes the Omega Sentinel into the ground. And as I've always talked about, again, love when they introduce the title. Now, don't get me wrong, the way to read it is kind of hard. It says Chaos Rules. So I feel like it could have been done a little bit better, but still, it's there. I'm happy with it. This is Chris Claremont writing and Chris Bachalo doing the art. This is Florina, Holdridge, Arwen, Mendoza, Olazaba, Parsons, Retmon, Townsend, and Vey doing the inks. Why do you need so many freaking inkers nowadays? My goodness. Studio F doing the colors, VC's Corey Petit doing the lettering, everyone else working on the book. X-Men were created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. And I just love this all-out battle with the Sentinels. Megan gets knocked down. She goes, they're going after Brian. But my husband can't take them alone. They must think I'm out of commission. I'll teach them to underestimate an elemental megamorph. Now, I haven't read a lot of Excalibur. Is Megan in the main continuity a megamorph like Husk? Because I just love how she pulls out these claws like pennants from Generation X. And she just goes to town Wolverine style on these Sentinels. She goes, I'll hold my basic form just long enough to give them a taste of where I am. The rest they'll do themselves. And it just shows how frigging powerful she is along with Captain Britain. And while this is happening, of course, Rachel and TJ, Nocturne, and Betsy are fighting against the Marauders because there's stuff going on they want to bring. And that's another thing. They don't really bring in how TJ is a threat to Magneto. It doesn't really explain that. So I don't know. If you guys know more about how that ties in, let me know. But apparently it's supposed to be this big scandal that can bring down the house of Magneto, hence why the Omega Sentinel was brought in. And Brian's like, Officer Shapander, you have to understand, this isn't treason against Magneto. We're trying to save this world from annihilation. And she's just not having it. It just shows how brainwashed the people, like they essentially become jackboots for Magneto. And again, battle with the Marauders. And I just love how they're able to bring down Blob, which here in a second is actually kind of hilarious because they're trying again to close this gap in reality. Once we get past all of my God ads. Where is it? Hold on. Where is it? They show the gap and it goes, what the devil is this? I believe a hole in causality itself. The breach that Roma sealed. Why does that name sound familiar? A very long story, I'm afraid. And so they're saying that they don't have a lot of time. So the Juggernaut grabs the Blob and just stuffs him into the gap in reality. I love it. I love it. The thing with Shapander, the Omega Sentinel, I wish that there would have been more. It just feels like that could have been more. And that's what kind of irks me is this is the last tie into this story to House of M, because after this, there's something called Decimation, and we'll get into that later. So I have no idea if Shapander shows up again, because it's been at least 10 years since I've read House of M. And so I'm kind of going off my original feelings and memories. But seeing Captain Britain in this light is freaking awesome. And the way that the Braddocks work together. I wish that we would have seen more, though, with Jamie Madrox. To kind of see how maybe he would have been like just a little nymph, like Loki, stirring the pot. But we don't. But at least we get a funny little thing where the Juggernaut goes, so I'm guessing this X is a bad thing, am I right? Absolutely. I'm guessing a hole got to get plugged. In that case, hey! Can't think of anyone better for the job. But unfortunately, it's not enough. McGann realizes what her destiny is. And needless to say, as the book comes to an end, Brian Braddock is broken to a degree. And what that is, you guys got to read the book. But I don't know. I like what Claremont was trying to do here with relatively obscure characters. Because, I mean, a lot of people that I talk to that are X-Men fans, etc., so forth, don't know who Captain Britain is, don't know who Rachel Summers is, kind of know who Psylocke is, or who the Marauders are, for that matter. Or Roma. Because, I mean, if you really haven't read Fall of the Mutants, that name's going to be sort of iffy. So I love that he was the one that created all that mythos and brings it back into this 2005 time. So I appreciate it from that point of view. But I feel like there was no major, like when it first started and Betsy and Rachel were kind of thrown into the Phoenix's white hot room, that made sense because the whole universe had changed. But then all of a sudden we just get torn into the story where they're trying to save TJ, which we have no idea why the Marauders are really after her, why she's causing a threat to Magneto. And I want more answers. So if you guys know if I missed something or if they elaborate somewhere else, that's the only thing that I feel like Claremont dropped the ball here. Because I don't think they address it anymore in the main House of M continuity. So it is what it is. If you just kind of want a cool, random, aside continuity X-Men story, you are going to enjoy this. And I love TJ because I've seen her in other books and I appreciate her. And it's kind of neat to see Nightcrawler now have a daughter. So with that said, if you've enjoyed what you've seen, please first and foremost support your local comic shop or wherever it is like to get your action figures and comics and grab this series along with the main House of M title. And if you've enjoyed this review, really would appreciate if you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the channel more than you could possibly know. And if you don't mind hitting that fancy little M bell next subscribe, that way I can upload content, you guys get notified. Come to the channel and I love talking with y'all. Hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments or the socials, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, hope y'all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading and happy hunting, everyone.